Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I'll be trying on and reviewing the new NARS foundation. The reason I was drawn to it is because of the skincare qualities that it markets. So the highlighted ingredients are biomimetic oat. Apparently it visibly improves clarity by reducing the appearance of redness. I love oat in my skincare products, like the Aveeno Oat Serum and Moisturizer, the First Aid Beauty Oat Toner. Like, I really like those, so I like that it has oat in here. It also has Japanese lily turf, which supports a strong skin barrier by helping maintain moisture. Great, love it. I love a strong skin barrier. I've never heard of Japanese lily turf. And then it has cacao peptides and milk thistle, and that minimizes the negative effect of blue light and environmental stressors. So I guess they're like antioxidants. I don't know, I think it's interesting. You know, they're trying to be innovative. They're trying to bring in those skincare qualities to the foundation. I'm noticing more and more people are drawn to kind of that natural, like they don't want heavy makeup. They're really focused on skincare more than makeup. So this, you know, attempts to bridge that gap between makeup and skincare, which I think is smart, and I bought it, so you know, it worked. And for reference, my skin type is combination leaning dry. Really nice, sleek packaging, and then it says shake well. So that's what I'm gonna do. And right when you start shaking it, you can hear how liquidy it is. Okay, so the cap comes off and there is a nice little pump, and I did use this once just to see if it's the right shade, and it is. It's a really good match, and you'll see what I mean. I have the shade Gobi. I'm going to try it with my fingers on one side just to see like how it works, because I think for people who don't love to use brushes and extra tools and you just want to kind of quickly use your fingers, I just want to see if that works well. And here it is as it gets sheared out and kind of sets down. It definitely pulls a bit warm to almost like olive. Like you can see like a tiny bit of green in the foundation. And something I noticed is, as someone who has pretty like light skin with redness and like pink, if I use a true neutral foundation, so one that has like a bit of yellow, a bit of pink or peach, those pink peachy tones really come through, and then my whole face looks like really peach. And then compared to my neck, which has no redness, my neck just looks like really like pasty and yellow. So what I learned for myself is I need to use a foundation that pulls a little bit more warm, and that way my face becomes like a neutral color because it kind of mixes in with the redness underneath. I didn't love doing that with my hands, so I'm gonna go in with the brush, kind of get a bit on the brush and stipple on. Using a brush is definitely better. This is the side I have like a bit more redness. It's blending into the skin really nicely, very even, but off the bat, it looks really natural on my skin. Coverage wise, I would say on the sheer side of medium. I think you could probably build it up. I wasn't looking for something to like completely cover everything. I wanted it to look like skin. Touching my face, it feels just like how my skincare felt, like a little bit tacky. So if you had like glowy products underneath, I think it kind of works with that well. It's just kind of like one with the glow. I'm going to add a little bit more. I want to see how it builds up. So I'll bring it closer. Okay. I'm gonna do the same on the other side. As you can see, I have some pigmentation there. So here it is with 2 layers on. It looks pretty natural, and it feels very weightless on the skin. You don't really feel like there are 2 layers of product on top of your skin. Okay, now I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup. And then tap the rest in with my brush, which has the foundation on it, and I find that just helps to make everything blend seamlessly. Okay, and now let's add some color back into the face. I'm actually gonna go in with this Rare Beauty stick bronzer. I also picked this up the other week and I've been liking it. On a little contour brush. It's very like slippy. The texture reminds me a lot of the Stay Vulnerable cream blushes by Rare Beauty. And if you've seen my blush like showdown, you know that I don't like that formula for a blush because it just doesn't last. The bronzer is definitely more pigmented than the blush. Over a foundation, I find it lasts a bit better. Blur out the edges. And the bronzer stick shade is Happy Soul. I have other blushes, I swear. You know the drill, back of hand. Stipple brush, just stipple it on. And blend out. And then for lips, I kind of want to do something fun and bright today, so I'm taking the Merit lip oil. It's like a really nice orange color. I think I'll powder just the center in my nose. And I'm gonna leave the rest bare. The parts that I didn't set with powder, it's set down pretty nicely by itself to like a very natural finish. It just looks like skin texture. I don't see any like detectable shimmer on my skin, which is a good sign because some foundations I find that are supposed to be radiant and light reflecting, like they have shimmer in it, and that kind of bothers me. I will check back throughout the day. Okay, hello. So it's been about 9.5 to 10 hours since I applied my foundation. I am impressed. My skin feels great. Feels hydrated, not oily, not dry. Even with like 2 layers on my face, it didn't feel heavy at all. I didn't feel it like moving throughout the day or settling weird. So if we start at my forehead, I am getting a little bit oily just in my T-zone area. But also I had on a lot of like emollient hydrating skincare underneath. And I did wear a mask today for like a little bit, not too long. I was just kind of going in and out of a couple stores. So the foundation did wear off just a tiny bit on the tip of my nose and on the bottom of my chin where the mask kind of rubs the most. On my cheeks, it's looking really, really nice and fresh. I'd say the medium coverage definitely held up. It didn't move around. The color did not oxidize at all. The color match still looks great. It just looks like a really nice veil of coverage that's really natural and doesn't look cakey. I think drier skin types could make it work if you prep your skin really well. Normal skin types I think will love this foundation. If you lean towards more like oily, I would say you definitely will want to set like your T-zone. I think if you're looking for a foundation that is lightweight, on the lighter side of medium coverage, a little bit buildable, doesn't feel like foundation, like there's no like residue that gets left behind, and even as I tap my skin, I don't see a lot of like product or pigment like coming off onto my fingers, which used to be a really big pet peeve of mine when complexion products just like transfer and move around and like a little touch on your finger and all the product just kind of comes off. I don't know how much the skincare ingredients will do, but it's for someone who like really enjoys skincare, it's just a nice touch and I appreciate it. Hello. So I was in the process of doing my makeup using the NARS foundation, and I'm promptly taking it off and doing it all over again because the skincare that I put on underneath did not mesh well with the foundation, and I think it's because the moisturizer and my sunscreen, they're both very, very hydrating, and they kind of left a bit of a film on top of my skin. I put on an Inkey List poly something acid serum, but I think that one has a lot of silicones in it. When I went to put on the foundation, it was like collecting and just like not sitting well on my skin, and you can see it's like, it's literally like, sorry, that's really gross. So just a tip, make sure your skincare is light and well absorbed before you put on this foundation. Otherwise it might pill and not sit on the skin very well. Hello again. So I just took off all my makeup and did it all over again, and it's a lot better. Definitely helped not having all those layers of skincare underneath. I will say my skin isn't in the best condition today. It's a little bit dry and a little bit flaky, not so noticeably, but now that I have the foundation on top of it, it didn't really sit quite the best on the areas that I have flakiness. Just a heads up that you want your skin to be really, really nice and exfoliated and well hydrated before using this foundation. So I'll try to show you what I mean. You can see just like on my nose there, the foundation isn't really sitting on the new skin. So it's a little bit patchy. It didn't do this the first time I used it. So I think it just really depends on what your skin is doing that day. Okay, that's it for now. Hi, it's day 3 of trying out this foundation, and I think I cracked the code. Today I used a damp sponge to apply it, and the night before I made sure my skin was lightly exfoliated because I can't go too crazy right now because my skin's very sensitive. I used the Farmacy Deep Sweep Toner, which is a 2% salicylic acid exfoliant, and I really just put it on the areas that I noticed I was having some dead skin buildup. If you remember, on day 2, the foundation was really gripping onto those spots. So I made sure to exfoliate well, and then this morning for skincare, I did the First Aid Beauty Oat Toner, and then I put on my Continent Hydroxtreme Serum. I used the Aveeno Oat Gel Cream. Also a really, really thin layer of SPF, and I used the Ali UV Gel. And then once everything was soaked in and not tacky, I dampened one of these wedge sponges. I ran out of actual like foundation sponges. Like they're all like really old, so I tossed them a few months ago and I haven't really purchased any. And I'm finding with the sponge, I'm getting the most natural finish, still giving me like a really even base. I really like it with the sponge if I want to go for like a really, really light coverage. With the brush, you get a nice medium coverage and it's easier to build up with a brush. So I hope this was helpful if you're considering giving the foundation a go. I really like it. I'm happy it's in my collection. I'm happy that I have a foundation that I can go to when I want a nice coverage that I know will last all day and not really wear off or get too oily. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.